Hey, no. Sorry. Twins still fight.
Aw. How old are they, Lainey?
They're going to be 9 in May.
Oh, wow. Okay. I have cats. I have feral cats. Since I don't have dogs anymore, I've never had a feral cat. I didn't know what to do. It was like they adopted my backyard as soon as they know I didn't have dogs anymore. It was like within like a month, I've got these cat. I'm like, I saw a cat on the side of my house lounging, just like what's it doing there? I drove home one day and I see a cat lounging on the side of in my yard. It's like he lives here now, I guess.
Yeah.
And they do. So like, I don't know, 3 of them maybe. They're all black. And so I called my friend who's taking care of all kinds of different animals, and I said, should I just put a bowl of food out there and some water? She said, yeah, that's what you do. I go, okay. So they come running over and they get their dinner. Well, actually, I put it out in the morning. Oh, forgot my tea. Just a second here. My tea. Oh, here it is. Oh. Okay, so are we complete on the clearing? Pretty close, huh? Getting 98% on the clearing overall for everybody, so there might be something extra that wasn't on this chart.
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Where you have for the chemistry and then you have and balance in caps, does that mean we're to do 2 DNAs for faulty programs?
Well, you can combine it. So just say for, since that's, what are the characteristics of I put balance because that's hypothalamus, but you could also say, you know, in there for, yeah, I just wanted to put chemistry and balance in here because I think this is where it's appropriate because that's where the hypothalamus does it. But of course that could be separate if, you know, because you're already saying faulty DNA programs for the hypothalamus. So I don't know, are they the same or are they different? Are they the same? No, they're different. So But you could do pineal, like faulty programs for pineal, maybe faulty programs around inner vision and intuition. That could be a separate one, more specific too. So, but you could combine it all. So you could just say faulty programs for the hypothalamus and chemistry or balance, and combine it all and do it all into one. So yeah, you can do it that way too.
And what would it be for pituitary? What's
well, that's the it produces the human growth hormone, which is required for regeneration, for cell growth, and so forth. So it could be for optimal regeneration and cell growth. All the other things, we'll get to that, the characteristics of the pituitary next. So that could be, you can do that separately, individually, if you want to add on to it. All right, so.
and on the chart, you've listed here emotional body, etheric template, and mental body. That's from the astral levels?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we identified those originally when we were doing a full clearing. So it's DNA we're not complete with. Okay.
So yeah, I did the rest of the chart. I have not finished doing the DNA yet.
Okay.
So maybe it's me.
No, I haven't either finished.
Okay, that's what we're getting. Yeah, we're about 98% of the way I got, but yeah, that's where we're probably at. So we can go into this now. Hypothalamus. All right, Margot's back. Renee's here. Jan's here. Dia, she got connected. So we're working in DNA right now for the hypothalamus. That's where I've tested we're not complete yet here for faulty programs. And you do want to get your before reading for the hypothalamus.
Marlene, can you clarify what resets mean, please?
Yeah. So a lot of times if you go to sleep overnight, it's going to revert back to what it was before you let go of the faulty DNA programs. So that's where you ask for, you say, upon awakening, this is the active and current version. And I always say, you know, sent from source and my highest and best.
Thank you.
So should we be doing the master cell for the 3 organs?
Well, that's what we're going to do here. Yeah. So that's what we're
Okay.
working in the hypothalamus right now. Yeah. So this is where, if you're done with the clearing, we're going to go in here. But you can do the DNA before you actually, it doesn't matter which order you do the DNA. You can do it first, but this is the one that you're going to actually look at and pull out the master cell of the hypothalamus. What we're looking for right now is just faulty programming. And then, yeah, there's 2 programs. Okay. So just delete the 2 programs, right? So, but here, once we get into the hypothalamus, the master cell, this is the strand in the master cell. So that's where you're looking at the dots. But yeah, if you're complete with DNA, you can go on to the master cell, ground it, start sending energy into the membrane nucleus.
But should we do the DNA for the pituitary and pineal first?
You can. It doesn't really matter what order you do it in.
Okay.
Marlene, what chakra would the hypothalamus be? Would it be more closely related to the crown with the pituitary, or because the pineal's third eye? I just find there's a lot of cross information coming through for the crown and the
Yeah, more crown. Yeah,
crown.
yeah. Yeah, the hypothalamus is not really a gland, and so that's why it's not really associated. You know, each one has got their own chakra, but it could be a mix.
Yeah, maybe in between the 2.
Yeah.
Sort of.
What is the difference between throwing the dice and sending gold, and then sending golden radio waves?
You know, shooting the dice, that's actually when you're clearing the dots off the DNA. So it's clean looking now. This is where you're gonna, you just kind of, you're shooting gold down the DNA strand. While it's still open, you're just shooting gold through there to heal it up and sealing it up kind of thing.
Yes.
Yep. And then the other part of your question was versus what?
The golden radio waves.
Oh, that's similar. Yeah, that's kind of the same thing. You can just see it as maybe, as like, it looks maybe like a little radio wave, like a frequency or whatever. Yeah, real similar. It doesn't even really matter, but that's just one way of looking at it.
Okay.
And you may find a process that is coming into your mind that this is working for me. And then test it. Test it. Is this just as effective? Yes. Is it more effective? Yeah. Okay, then shoot it through however it feels right. And if you're complete with this part, then this is the DNA where you actually pull a strand out of in the master cell.
Did you say you could only have 3 programs on the DNA strand?
Oh no, there could be several.
Oh.
Yeah. It can be many programs, just depends how many is in, how many your genes, right?
Yeah, again, I noticed that with my pituitary, I have dark spots in every lifetime, all the way back, like 10, and then 10, way more, like 10 faulty programs in the DNA. Like they definitely are correlating for me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the more lifetimes that you're identifying, the more DNA. Yeah.
More faulty programs there seem to be.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
And how many lifetimes do we go back?
It said 6, but I have always gone back 9. It's not as common to find them as as impacting a person's current life when you're going past 6, but they're there, and if it's impacting you, then I would check for 7, 8, and 9.
Okay.
No, I mean, if there is something that goes even further that's definitely impacting this current life, then check on that, but it's not common.
Yeah, I think for me it popped up. It sort of just told me to keep going. The other thing I was wondering, because all lifetimes are happening simultaneously and presently, so it would be important to look for dark spots in the future lifetimes as well, correct? Right? Like not just clear back, but clear forward.
Correct. Yeah. If I didn't mention that, I should have mentioned that. I think I did, but yeah, definitely you're looking at past and future, right?
Future?
Yeah. Future. So you don't have to get what age are you or anything like that, or you just get how many times in the future, 1, 2, whatever. And
Yeah, because then you can see the cycles or the patterns too.
yep. So you obviously have current life,
Yeah.
past and future.
Okay, one more clarification, sorry. And then you said, I don't think I heard this before, and I probably just ditzed out. Did you say take a strand from the DNA you've just made beautiful and clean and clear and put it into the master cell? Is that correct? Okay, I have not been doing that. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is for each, when you're in the master cell, you're going in.
Makes sense. Of course.
Yep. While you're there, check the strand.
Oh, okay. So I'm a little confused. I thought you were saying after you've done your DNA work, bring it into the master cell.
It's already there. So
okay. Oh, that's what I thought. Okay, so it's
in the master cell. Yeah, you're just looking at it. You're just zeroing in on it.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you are complete here, then go into the pituitary and send gold into the pituitary and get that up. Next. So of course, when you're done with DNA and then going into the master cell, sending gold energy into every area of the master cell, and then activating the mitochondria and creating that new cell growth. Gold energy to all cells in the hypothalamus. And then counting the number of days. And getting that before reading on your pituitary.
This may seem like a straightforward question, but if it needs longer days, it just needs more time to, like more regeneration or just more time to regenerate?
Each one is different. So they're all going to have different number of days that they usually take.
Yeah, because my pineal is 82% functioning, but it's taking, like, it wants 172 days to regenerate.
Really? Okay.
So it seems opposite, like it's the highest functioning, but it's wanting the longest.
Are you sure it's that much? Really?
I don't know. You want to double check it for me? I know. 100.
55, 57?
Must have been an interference there. Yeah, I'm getting 50 something now.
Okay, yeah, that's just, I haven't seen it take anything like that long a period of time. Usually we're getting between anywhere from, 10 days. I mean, just depends. If I've already done somebody and we're doing a round 2, it could just be really a short amount of time, to maybe 120 days, you know, at the long end. But that's pretty long.
Yeah, that's what I was finding on my other ones, is if it sort of seems lower functioning, it needs up to about 120, maybe that max.
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you.
But you could go back in at any time and check the progress, you know, like in 30 days, just see where it's at now. And then you can actually just add some beautiful gold energy in there just to kind of boost it a little bit.
And where do we get the chemistry, the hormones for each of these?
Oh, I have them on slides here coming up. So pituitary. Okay. Maybe it's on the text document here. Here's the pituitary hormones. So it's on the slide, and on the text document I say table of hormones. So I didn't list them all, but I just, but maybe I can copy and paste it onto here. Yeah, I'll provide like a list of all the different hormones for each.
Do you have the pineal ones?
Melatonin.
That's it?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm gonna Google that again, just check. Norepinephrine. That's normally from the adrenals, but it's listed here too, I guess. So.
And for the hypothalamus?
Yeah, those are on your text. I have a whole, I listed each one out individually in the text. So I put hormones secreted by the hypothalamus is a slide, and then it goes into slide, the next slide says antidiuretic hormones, the next slide said oxytocin. So it's in the text here already, and it's each slide has a hormone listed. Yeah, so yeah, so for pituitary, oh, that's hypothalamus. Pituitary though, let's talk a little bit about that. Okay, around age 28, it says this gland slows down significantly and we begin to lose our ability to regenerate. So that seems to be on par with where I see the adrenals, you know, start around age 30, really going down. So, and there's also calcium, calcification of the pineal or the pituitary, well, both pituitary and pineal get calcified. So if if you can see, here's how we remove the calcium. You do a little chopping around the pituitary, and you're kind of like you're chopping off the calcium. You can read the percentage of calcium, of calcification. So if it's like 5% calcified or something like that, then you can check to see how effective you are and when it got down to 0. So put that on pituitary and pineal percentage of calcification and get a reading.
Could it be possible to be as high as 30%?
30%?
Calcified?
Could be.
Yeah, because I've got like 10 lifetimes of and 10 faulty DNA programs.
Yeah, for sure. The calcium comes from this lifetime, but maybe
Okay, good to know.
maybe a propensity to build it up or to be, you know, compromised so that it can build up or something. Yeah. It comes from fluoride, aluminum, different stuff like that. Chlorine. So people swim in their pool a lot.
Oh, I swim a lot.
Oh. Okay. So yeah, so do this. Get it before reading and then chip it away.
Any thoughts with it only being calcified on one side, all down the right side? No? Masculine?
Yeah, I mean, you would think that would be the masculine side. Yeah, but interesting. So that your feminine side is all clear then.
Yeah.
No, interesting. Just had a little dust devil go through. So the pineal gland sits in the middle of the brain, but where the two halves connect. Do you find that on your timeline that one particular lifetime keeps coming up, like something really bad must have happened? Yeah. I know I've got one in particular, like, dang, I should check in and see what happened there.
Yeah, me too. 6 is bad.
Mine is four back.
4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so interesting to take the time to do this so thoroughly and to see those kinds of patterns. It's
Yeah.
really neat. There's another whole world in there.
Yeah. There's a little world, cosmic.
Cosmic world. I know, like my little pituitary is so sad.
Really?
And I never knew that. Like it just feels like I have to hold it and it's crying and crying and crying. And it's so sad. I'm just thinking like the gift of taking the time for it. Like I never even knew.
Oh.
It's so sad.
Oh.
Like so working so hard against itself. Oh, it makes me tear up.
Oh my gosh.
But
Yeah.
it's so fascinating.
And just to know that it's going to get the calcium chipped off of it now and it's going to come back to life. You can see this sun going, see a sun at the top of your head, and then send this golden sun energy through the pituitary. See the center of your head just beaming out golden light. And this is straight from source. This is just straight source coming in. You can see it kind of. You can actually kind of just bring it all down now throughout the rest of your body, filling every cell of your body too, and just recharging and energizing. And if you do see the pituitary, if you see a little white crusty thing, that is the calcium, if you actually see it.
Yeah, it's just on that one side.
And it's usually white and yeah.
They talk about there being an anterior and posterior pituitary. So are there two organs joined together or?
No, it's just the side of it, different sides. No, they're the same, just one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, another way you can chip away at it, but you can also just see it melting. Just it's melting off from there and just dripping off and going away. And this can be preventing the human growth hormone from getting into the body, you know, and all the other hormones or whatever to circulate. So it could have been preventing that. And that's causing aging, right? So if you can't get the human growth hormone. And yes, this is the master gland. All the different hormones it produces control many different parts and processes of the body. This is a huge one for menopause. You know, if people are having a lot of hormone issues, you know, related things, check the pituitary.
So you said hormone issues, and what was the other thing?
Yeah, hormone issues. Yeah.
What about depression? Would one of these affect depression more so than others?
That's going to be in the brain
Okay.
itself.
And neurotransmitters.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a whole protocol around depression. It's big. It's a big one. I mean, yeah, it's all encompassing a lot of stuff. You need to do the brain regeneration. You need to do the nervous system regeneration. There's different things to bring in there. Hormones. Yeah, interesting enough about the pituitary too. It relates to our growth. And it's also important for pineal gland activation. So that's why we do this one first. And yeah. Yeah, I think we can do the depression one as a follow-up for the group. I don't have it all charted out. I mean, it's a large thing. I usually do it individually for a client. They got to go through the whole brain and the whole nervous system. So we actually have to do the nervous system first before we can do the depression. So I don't want to just send you the protocol for depression without doing the nervous system first. So perhaps what we can do is when we do the nervous system on a follow-up call, then we can just send that along with the depression one. So we can kind of group what you think the follow-up one should be out of the list that we're doing. But I already got depression on here. Add it next to the nervous system. Yeah. Yep. So we can do the nervous system, and then I can just have the depression protocol there. So you could probably work on that after the nervous system, and you'll already have had the brain, so that's good. And now with sleep too, you would think that, okay, adrenals and pineal are important with sleep, but it's all, pituitary is a factor because of vasopressin influences their circadian rhythms for sleep patterns. So other issues, it's on the document Word doc too, but there's a lot of different hormonal difficulties, symptoms, headaches, sexual difficulties are in there too. For men, like erectile dysfunction could be in here, but low libido or painful intercourse. And then depression, changes in mood. So this is part of the depression. You would put pituitary as one of them. Could possibly, it doesn't have to be for everybody, but chances are good that if they have depression, then the pituitary is out of whack too. So yeah.
I'm really getting a lot of downloads just to keep getting this. Really important to do both, like in most of our packages or protocols. Like if you were doing a mood, then to make sure we find the corresponding gland, even if we don't do the whole upgrade, but trying to combine our packages so there's a boost with the physical as well. Because sometimes the timeline stuff can cause it, But sometimes by just dealing with the here and now as well, that boost, it gives people that immediate confidence that
Yeah.
they feel better. And so then they start to change their habits. And so I'm just getting this call to make sure that the packages have a bit of both.
Have the, so the clearings plus some physical.
Yeah, like the amplification, some of the, or maybe emotional upgrades and then a physical, but if not, to just do the emotional piece.
Yeah.
For the
right.
emotional issues, try to find out what the physical piece is. Because I think I've tended to stick with the emotional stuff, but the physical stuff can really amplify it and make it remedy faster.
Right, because it's the stuff that was blocking it that caused it. So that's great. Now you're taking all that out, so it won't potentially cause it again. But
yeah,
but what do you do with the gland that's already half shot, right? So
wonky, yeah.
yeah. Now, okay, let's fix that. Fix that too. So now it won't have to happen again. But now you need to know that what your thoughts and beliefs and so forth. So that's where then the lifestyle stuff has to come in there. Too, so that they know, hey, this is how it happened. So going through that clearing and just say, look, there's hatred, there's blah, 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 there are resentment. You have to let go of these feelings. We're going to clear them, but you need to know that this is the stuff that's caused this issue.
Yeah,
So,
and I think it's such more of a selling point.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
are looking for holistic approaches. Like it's
Exactly.
not, it's multi-dimensional. It's not just.
And nobody's really offering this piece of it. They can offer a lot of energy healers are clearing the blocks. Absolutely. That's a piece that a lot of people have gotten and know how to do. But most of them do not work in the physical. Yes, they do work in the physical, but they're not. I haven't seen anybody out of all my clients, I haven't seen anybody come up with a gland or organ that's been worked on that's now up to 90, 100%. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, and I'm getting that download too, that's why this has been so helpful for me personally, because it's always been a focus on the emotional piece, and this piece is what really made me feel better. And then physically, and then I had the energy even to deal with the other stuff, or the capacity.
Right, yeah.
So it's really, that just keeps coming through.
And then, of course, they're going to be talking to other organs and glands and other, messages being sent all over the body many different things can improve from here. So they could be feeling a lot better just having worked with you. And that's all they're going to know. Hey, I feel better after working with Margot, right? So they're not going to know exactly what happened. But yeah, multiple changes. And that's why I tell people these are the things that you could expect to have change or improve from a healthy functioning pituitary, for example. But so many other things can happen. So just notice, journal some stuff, journal the changes that you're feeling, but then also journal the things that you're not feeling anymore, because that would be interesting too. So, and they can just be thoughts about things. Like I used to feel this way, and I used to feel hopeless or dreadful, right? At one point, I remember feeling hopeless. I thought everything was just about to go to, hell in a handbasket. I was just really depressed about it. Not real depressed, but just, I wasn't happy. I just saw things how they were going, and it was just a hopeless, right? And many, many things that I've done, and I can't pinpoint which one it was, but I don't feel that anymore. So that's just something that can happen because of all the different things that you're doing. You just can't say it was pituitary or whatever, but
yeah, you kind of have those moments where you're like, hey, I don't do that anymore.
yeah,
right. They're little light bulbs going off.
Yeah. Yep. And fatigue, that can be for almost any of these, it seems, right? I mean, that's in with pituitary too. And you could have weakness and yeah, the signs and symptoms here for pituitary is huge. Just huge. Carpal tunnel syndrome. Funny.
That's with what? The pituitary?
Yeah, pituitary. Wow. Hypertension, arthritis, aching joints, loss of sleep, we just said, memory, concentration, unusual hair growth or loss. So besides the thyroid, you could do pituitary for hair loss. And then skin or hair that's dry. Now, history of emotional, physical trauma or chronic stress. So Margot, that would be, this one has, yeah, a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I'm really getting this is huge with the all the things you're talking about, like the adrenals, for instance. Yeah, there's the trauma piece, but then the adrenals, the function with the HPA axis or whatever, and then
Yep.
you get that gloomy feeling in the morning with the cortisol. So I think that the pituitary is really key with trauma. Really, really key.
Yeah.
And what if we see like there sometimes can be tumors on the pituitary, right?
Yeah.
That's what have you done when that comes up? See a tumor that really you can't kind of shift, move. How do you work with the client with that?
Did I send you growth cysts?
Yes.
Tumors?
Tumors and cysts.
Did you get that, Dia? No, maybe for the first group I sent it. Okay, I'll make sure you get that. There's a chart for clear tumors, cysts,
thank you.
growths. Yeah.
And what's your experience been around that?
You can clear it. It takes a while. I mean, it can take a while. Yeah. I mean, it's not just the one session process, right? You kind of, you do some, some stuff on it like this, and then, for a certain amount of time the first day, and you need to come back maybe the next day and do more, right? So it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if the client's willing, you could say part of my package is I work on you every day.
Yeah.
Because I do that in my practice. I'll say, you can be part of it, or I can just do it, you'll be at this time, you can be on the line with me or not, and I'll just, work this time every day for 20 minutes on this issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's great. And then just schedule it in. Yeah, because I have a healing chart. And so I see, somebody just bought this one and it's outside of the group process, right? So I've got to do it myself. So now it's on my chart, right? But I have maybe 6 other people on there with the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to do adrenals now for these 6 or whatever. So you've got to find your own way that it's going to work to, to do the work, right? If you're outside of the sessions with people. Yeah, and a lot of times I'll say I'm doing it over the weekend. Make sure you drink water and get plenty of rest or whatever if you feel something. And you could schedule it, like you say, if it's that 20 minutes, if you can get down to that, that's pretty good. Sometimes I just can't get down to exactly when I'm doing it, but I'm doing it over the weekend. All this stuff will get done over the weekend. And that just seems to work best for me because my days are filled with sessions or, other things that I've got to responsible to do. But, or you could do it this over in the evenings, right? So, like if you're watching TV, you can just do this. Okay, I'm working on Mary, And also, it's not like you have to continually have your mind on that. I'm working on Mary. You don't have to continually do that because once you set the intention that that's what you're doing, you don't have to remind somebody else. Maybe you just lost train of thought somewhere, but it's still working. And this will continue for several minutes after you stop. So it just depends on where you are at. So it'll last a lot longer for me, for example, than maybe somebody who's new to it. So this can go on for an hour or so or more, whatever, once I'm stopped. So I can come back and say, okay, it went from 20% up to, 90% or whatever. And all I did was go watch TV. You know what I mean? It's like, I wasn't concentrating totally because I'm watching TV too. So I check at the end of the show and it's like, okay, so now I could get back there. I get my focus back and I get it back up and I get it to 100 and make sure I'm complete and thorough with whatever's done. And then I can chart it or whatever from there. I can start in on somebody else, put my intention where it needs to go. Okay, now I'm working on so-and-so doing this. And if things come up, now, of course, if you're working on their timeline or DNA, a lot of times you've got things coming up. So it's not like I do that watching TV, but I do the actual clearing. I've got this long chart, and if things come up, they're coming up if they need to come up, and I can make notes or whatever, but it's not like you have to. I mean, that would be real tiring if you had to keep your mind and attention totally set. I mean, it's like when you're driving, your mind's not always, okay, now I need to make sure that I swerve around there. Now I need to do this. You're not doing that the whole time you're driving, but yet you're driving and you're going to get from A to B. It's muscle memory. It's, and it's the assistance, it's the help that you're receiving. So it's not like you're just doing all this yourself. You're getting, you're the one that's putting it into action and completing it and doing the work here as a human for this other human. And so that's why we're needed, because we're the interaction, the, intermediary, the link, that connection. So they're either not able to do it themselves. Maybe their frequency is not high. They don't have the energy. They don't know what to do, so they need you as this human connection. But yeah, you're not 100% responsible for making sure, for completing this because you did it. You know what I mean? It's not 100% you. So you can make it easy on yourself. And
I always call myself the secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just here to type
just the
up
secretary.
Yeah. Yep, I'll make your chart up and I'll find out what's the problem and I'll read it and then I'll intend I'm going to be doing these things. Yep, I'll do that part. And then I'm the one that communicates back to the other human. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and then again, here too is for excessive weight loss, eating disorders, or gain. So eating disorders is here. Besides the hypothalamus, you got pituitary too. And then metabolism, thyroid, and then pancreas, right? So, and adrenals. So you can add this one in. For potential. Now, if you're getting, no, that's not really what the problem is for this person, then okay, maybe it's not. Okay, and if you're, I don't know where everybody is with pituitary or if you're in the pineal, but where you're at with that. But if you're complete, then go into the pineal and do the function up to 100. And you know what? I guzzled a whole, I don't know what is this, 32 ounce or whatever, over lunch, and now I've got half another one. I'll be right back.
This stuff is really amazing. It's so exciting to know this.
Is that new? It says clearing blocks, that intuition and inner vision. Clearing blocks I've seen before, but the intuition and inner vision, I guess because it's the pineal, the third eye, yeah.
Correct.
Oh,
What did you say, Lainey?
yeah, I was saying, yeah, I didn't notice that either because I actually have gone through all 3 of them. So I'll go back and pop that one in.
What does she mean there, clearing blocks to intuition and inner vision?
Well, I would just, I mean, obviously she'll know, but I assume that, so pineal is the third eye, right? Kind of historically.
Yeah,
So
I know
and
that
that's where,
part, the clearing blocks. What does she mean? I'll have to ask.
Anything that's between you and your intuition, which is in the pineal, anything that's interfering with your inner vision or your ability to see intuitively.
Oh, so it's okay, I get it. So clearing the blocks before you start. Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Whee. Okay. I don't know where everybody's at this point, but if they want to move on, if they're all done, let me know. I don't know. But I do have an activation for
Need a
the-
few more.
excuse me?
I just need a few more minutes to finish.
Okay, before you go into the pineal, you mean?
No, I'm just finishing the pineal.
Okay, because we're gonna do a activation for the pineal. So
So I'm done with all three, so I'm working on
Okay.
digestion.
okay. Oh, all right. So you can see the pineal as a chocolatey brown kind of color. If you see it, you know, as a color, that's the color you want to restore it to. So if you do see calcification there, whiteness or whatever, that's chip that off. Regulator of regulators is what the pineal is. Affects mood, sleep, immune system. It's a factor in longevity as well. Okay, and this is the melatonin, obviously. It's released in the blood and possibly also in the brain fluid. It's body's circadian rhythm clock. And serotonin is responsible for our mood, which is transformed into melatonin only in the pineal. So, transformed into melatonin. So you want to make sure that you have enough serotonin. So that's the neurotransmitters, that's the nervous system, and it's producing serotonin.
So should we up the serotonin as well?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So you can see a little gauge, and then you can say, you know, bumping up the serotonin. And then you can also do the same thing with the melatonin. And then we discovered that there was the norepinephrine too, huh? some reason. Yep. Yeah, so sleep in the dark with no lights on. You want the melatonin to be produced. That's how it produces. And here's questions if there's insomnia. You can look at this one. Clear tensions in your life, deep-seated guilt, fear, and anxiety. So this is the gauge. You can just balance out your melatonin, right? Fast-paced modern lifestyle impacts the health of the pineal. Toxins. And there's a lot of things that, I don't know who you want to call they are doing to block our connection. This is the connection to, you know, source and so forth, our intuitive abilities, our inner vision, and the calcium is blocking that. So, you know, why do you think they put fluoride in a lot of the drinking water when it's not? It's clearly a neurotoxin and does not belong, no matter what they say. Oh, it's good for your teeth, that's why it's in there. Okay, so I know you read that out of a textbook and now you're spewing it out at me, but I'm not buying into that. So my dentist, you just clean my teeth and leave me alone. So it is definitely interfering with human connection. Calcium and phosphorus structures. Okay, so if there's, yeah, calcification, but there can also be phosphorus deposits. And these calcium and phosphorus deposits are linked with aging, Alzheimer's, dementia, and many other mental illnesses. So you wonder why the uptick in Alzheimer's, never used to hear of it before, and now it's like all over. My dad died with Alzheimer's. My mom had dementia. You know, so why, you know, can definitely be that. Calcium supplements are thought to be harmful. It's better to get your calcium through diet and so forth. So check, just muscle test to see what's right for you. Should you be taking a calcium supplement? How many, how much, that kind of thing. So the calcium lowers your production of melatonin and impairs that sleep-wake cycle, disrupts the regulation of the circadian rhythm. So if people are saying that they're, you know, they have chronic insomnia, check their pineal and then check the calcium levels on that pineal. Fluoride, this is where we're talking about, yeah, a lot of bad stuff. Second highest organ which receives blood flow in the body. So most of the fluoride accumulates in the pineal, which is the second highest organ which receives blood flow in the body. Goodness. 50% of the world's drinking water is fluoridated, but in Western Europe, only 3% of the population consume fluoridated water. Yep. Calcification, obviously, causes arthritis, kidney stones, or kidney disease, lowers IQ, brain damage, harms fertility, children reaching puberty earlier. Might have heard of that. Cardiovascular inflammation, arterial sclerosis, increases lead absorption. So don't let your kids get that fluoride treatment.
Marlene, can I ask you a quick question here?
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
tend to work with a lot of people in the medical field or have been in medical training.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell me where all this information is based from and what the last kind of, update has been for them? because they're going to be open to it, but they want to hear about it and they want to think on it, and like what the sources are for the slides. Do we have sources
Oh,
for some of my clients who are really interested and
yeah,
it's
I
important?
don't know if I've got all the sources, but you can Google this. I mean, this is where I found most of my information. So yeah, you may just need to Google it yourself and just say the dangers of fluoride consumption or something like that and see what you come up with. But they were all, you know, fairly, you know, credible sources. That I
Yeah,
got from, and then, but just muscle test it yourself. You know, each one of these line items, does this seem true? Does this potentially cause arthritis? You know, and if you're getting no, that's not true, then, you know, maybe ask others and see what they get. But yeah.
so I just have to be careful with the sources when I pull stuff. Like I'll go on things like Green Med Info, because he basically goes on to PubMed.gov, actual scientific papers, and then he distills them for the semi-lay person. Some of his stuff is still a bit deep, but if you go to like, there are a bunch of news sites like that are more reliable, whereas like Health Ranger, while I love to read him, he's not necessarily always scientific, and it's like, rah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. And some of the corporate mainstream sites are not going to tell you this.
right.
They won't. They're in on it. You know, they're the ones that are telling you, yes, get the fluoride treatments at your dentist, you know.
Right. And I, you know, my idea here is that we want this to become more mainstream. So I don't like to be at either end of the spectrum. I
Mhm.
try to be in the middle because I want to, because
Yeah.
the, like, you know, the homeopathic people are on board and that's cool and great. But then I want to work with the traditional people because of the cancer patients I work with, work in hospitals. And so I want to be able to bring in this information in a way that is, you know, just trying to get everyone to come together around it.
Sure.
So that's where I was just kind of wondering. So, Lainey, you said Green Med?
Green Med
You like that?
Info. Yeah.
Green.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you can get on their mailing list, and, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. Yeah. And yes, Renee, toothpaste too. Fluoride in the toothpaste, absolutely. And here's what I use for toothpaste. And my family hasn't had any issues with the dentist ever since we started doing this. Coconut oil, organic coconut oil, and then baking soda, and you mix it up into a mixture where it's kind of a paste, you know, paste mixture. You can then add in some drops of essential oils. So you could use wintergreen is very good for bone, wintergreen, or you could put peppermint, you know, spearmint, whatever taste you want. Yeah, and then you brush your teeth with it, and you know, because there's the coconut oil in there, it turns liquefied in your mouth, and then you can kind of swish it around between your teeth, so it cleans everywhere, and then spit it out. But you don't want to spit it down your drain because the coconut oil can solidify and clog up your plumbing. So you have to just spit it in the trash. Have a bag, of course, in the trash can. Yeah, Mercola, that's another one. Yeah, but he sells stuff. But yeah, but that's true. Mercola.com. It's good.
What about Tom's toothpaste? I use them.
Yeah.
It's like a more natural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're pretty good. Yes. And I use toothpaste when I go travel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I bring toothpaste with me when I travel. There's one called Sunrider. It's like a multi-level whatever program, but I like their toothpaste. Sunrider. Also, Young Living, the essential oils. They have Dentarome toothpaste, very good. And so when I travel, I'll bring a regular tube, you know. But at home, I have just a shallow jar and mix it up. And it's cheap. You don't have to, keep buying toothpaste all the time. We get at Costco this huge coconut oil for, I think it's $12.99. That's like 32 ounce or better. It's a big tub of it. But we use it in cooking, and then you can use it, on your arms in the shower. You can put, put it on like for dry skin. Here's in the case against fluoride, this Paul Connett explains how fluoride harms our brains, bones, and kidneys. So there's a reference there. And he says when historians come to write about this period, they will single out fluoridation as the single biggest mistake in public policy that we've ever had. So that's where that came from. And then about the chlorine, it's in the same class of chemicals as fluoride. And that also has that calcifying effect. It's also in the public water supply, chlorine. So make sure you've got a water filter. Don't drink tap. And then the shower filter, you're going to want that. Or filter on your home. Tooth decay. The evidence doesn't support this claim. It's statistically, it doesn't show. There's no, it doesn't really come out statistically. 95% of commercial toothpaste have fluoride. Avoid using the commercial brands. They saw it as a opportunity, commercial, sell something to the public, right? They saw this as a way to a moneymaker. And then, of course, whoever got involved saying, put fluoride in there. Wintergreen, yeah. So coconut oil, baking soda, and wintergreen. There you go. Okay. Teflon, non-stick cooking surfaces contain this PFCs and PFOAs, and they can harm the pineal. Yeah, non-functioning. Yeah, so don't use artificial sweeteners, sugar, simple carbs, gluten, dairy, nicotine, caffeine, and GMOs. And then we're no longer aware of our potential. Yeah. And that's the stuff that's in all the stuff that they're selling down the grocery aisle, right? I mean, it's what they're selling people. Don't want to say there's a conspiracy here, but maybe there is an agenda to keep people stupid. And then of course it's a money-making industry because you've got people now with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ADHD, and you can sell them drugs. And then of course, if you're going into a long-term care facility, if you have memory issues, oh my gosh, that's like double the price. $5,000 a month to stay in these places. I don't know where people are supposed to get that kind of money to, to pay them, but they suck a lot of people's life savings dry first. So they get all that, they get all your money back. You might think I sound a little, but it's happened to my family, right? And like my aunt, same thing. She $5,000 or so or more, up to like 10 grand a month or whatever. So they get people's life savings. And then what happens when that runs out, then you get on to the state program. So you take out all your whatever, and then you're on a state program, which will pay until you die or until they can kill you for the food they're serving you. I'm bitter. Yeah, no. Sleep disorders and fluorescent bulbs. Okay, so these are harmful to your health and hard on your eyes. Replace them with a full spectrum light bulb. Natural light, yeah, absolutely. Toxic products, again, these contain toxins. pollution in the pineal. Limit your exposure to pollution, spend more time in nature, eating organic, non-GMO. Some of the most acidifying foods are meat, okay, then alcohol, refined flours and sugars and oils, all processed foods and chemical-laden foods are very acidic to the body, and that means, you know, cancer causing and so forth. Dr. Jockers, Jockers. Oh, that's good. Okay, super green powders, chlorophyll dense, chlorella, spirulina, wheatgrass. These are great for pineal function and avoiding calcification. Boron cleanses the pineal, helps to remove fluoride from the body. So there's foods that contain boron, apple cider vinegar, although I've heard it's not the best to do it. So try something else, I guess, first. But sunshine, direct exposure, kickstarts the functioning of the pineal, stimulates the mind, prompting it to begin producing that serotonin that we talked about, that we were amping up, right? So sunlight will actually do that. And then limiting your exposure to any light emitting electronic device after sunset. So that's why it's important to get off the computers and phones and so forth after the sun goes down. Raw cacao, whoever said they were eating that, maybe Jan, I think, or fighting free radicals, keeping the brain healthy. Using coconut oil often nourishes the brain, detoxifies the pineal. Converted to ketones in the liver, which can restore neurons and nerve function in the brain. Can be helpful for Alzheimer's and reducing the symptoms there. Cruciferous vegetables, nourishing the brain and pineal, restorative exercise, mindfulness and brain function, avoiding sunglasses. Yay! Our eyes need the indirect sunlight exposure. So now, of course, in Arizona, you still are going to need sunglasses, especially in the middle of the day. But I can see, you know, in the morning, afternoon, evenings, and so forth, to stay away from them. That would be great. But just because it's sunlight outside doesn't mean we have to just put on the sunglasses. Sun gazing, you may have heard of this. It's an ancient technique. You used to do it a lot, you know. Heightened clairvoyance, improving health, has the ability to subsist without food or water. I know somebody who's a breatharian, and there's an actual program. I think it's 10 days to 2 weeks, and you actually go there and learn how to become a breatharian. And she did that, and yeah, so she was able, but now you need to be able to be around some good, fresh, clean air, like if there's trees, you know, and you got to have some type of trees, I guess, more than we have here in the desert, but yes, you can definitely do that, and that's the going out and looking at the sun. You can read about it and find out how to do it. Center of consciousness, the pineal. So brain chemistry kicks in when you wake up in the morning, and receptors in the back of your eye pick up the light. Optic nerve sends a signal to the pineal gland, and it makes serotonin, the daytime neurotransmitter, to make us happy. So get outside first thing in the morning, maybe take a walk or something. That would be great to start your day. Brain chemistry, part of consciousness, and guided by the sun. So very interesting. The energy of the earth is higher than it was in 2012, is expected to increase. Solar storms absolutely have created a psychoactive experience. The color of light changes your consciousness. It's the sun. If the sun is changing, then it's possible our consciousness is changing. And there's a lot to dig into and research on that. So a lot to look at. Now you can do the regeneration now if you haven't already, DNA and number of days. But here is to do a pineal activation to open your third eye. So this will be in the notes as well. So a blocked or calcified pineal, about 70% of the people, and these are the symptoms. So if somebody comes to you with they're paranoid, for example, where'd that come from, right? So maybe Margot, anxiety, impaired perception of reality. They just aren't seeing things like most people. Sort of neurological disorder here, definitely really pessimistic, envious, and jealous. And then obviously can access intuition. This will really help with intuition as well. So yeah, clarity, intuition, empathy, decisiveness, psychic ability, and focus. So the pineal gland raises the frequency and it perfects the performance of the body. Your health improves. So this allows us to see beyond the perception of ordinary sight. And an awakened pineal brings the ability to consciously astral travel, have lucid dreams, enhanced imagination, explore other dimensions, foresee the future, receive communications from dimensional beings like channeling. So reactivate these beams of light and you'll be much more psychic, telepathic, and you'll receive more. So where do I start the activation? Down here, I guess, yeah. Okay. Okay, oh, crystal work. You can use crystals, placing it over your third eye. That will activate it, and these are the different crystals that you can use, so that's pretty cool. Crystals with indigo and violet hues and clear quartz will amplify their properties. So if you just use the clear quartz in addition to any of the indigo or violet ones, this will amplify it. During meditation, 15 to 30 minutes, that'd be cool. Natural remedies associated with the pineal gland stimulation, a lot of different supplements, essential oils, again, frankincense is in there, myrrh, lavender, helichrysum, pine, sandalwood, pink lotus. Practice Kundalini yoga, or talk to Margot how to do it. Yeah, so it rests at the base of the spine, and specific movements are designed to raise the Kundalini energy. Of course, meditation. So to do the third eye visualization, you're going to send some golden sun energy through the pineal. So you can just imagine the center of your head is receiving this sunlight. It's shining out golden light. Just send it down, filling out all the cells of your body. Breathe it in, a deep exhale, feeling in touch with yourself, knowing your answers are there for you as they come in with the golden sun, making you happy. So you bring your eyes up towards your third eye. Yeah, and place your awareness on that third eye. And then imagine being able to see out through that third eye. And that will actually allow you to see the world in a new light. So yeah, so just imagine that you're actually seeing with the third eye. So it really does. It does have a different perspective, right? Yeah. We limit ourselves in seeing only the third dimensions. But we came in being able to see this way. Yep. And then it says here, we close our third eye to see out of our two eyes. And then we eat meat and become dense. I don't know where that came from, but, but it's probably true. I don't know. Okay, so then the third eye visualization, I've got that here on the towards the bottom of this Word doc. It's best to do this in total darkness. If you can, sit back, sit with your back straight or lie on your bed with your arms at your side. Then you breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then give attention to tension in your face, neck, eyes, scalp, behind your ears, releasing all the muscles. You take a deep breath all the way in and you hold it as long as possible. And before you exhale, you want to create this small part between the bottom and the top jaw, just enough space between your tongue and your teeth. On the exhale, you create a tone. Tho, that's T-H-O-H, tho. So on the exhale, you create this tone, but really slight opening between your tongue and your teeth. Tho, right? And then it actually vibrates. Find that spot where it vibrates. Try to keep your tongue between your teeth. Tho, right? And you do that 6 times. So you breathe in, and then on the exhale, tho. Then you can feel that vibration going on. Can cause headaches if you're not used to doing it, or if the pineal is not used to being used, or a little dizziness. Some people can hear a crackling or popping noise inside their head if they're actually activating it. So you can do that. And then the next is you breathe in deeply. You count in the breath in for 6. And then this time use a different tone, which accelerates your activating the third eye even further. So this tone will be may, and you feel exactly where that tone vibrates the third eye. So may, you might need to go up or down in frequency or whatever it is, but you actually play with it until you actually hear or feel that vibration. And you repeat this 6 times in a really slow out breath. So you could start to feeling a little buzzing in the forehead area, crown. And then with your eyes closed, you can imagine your third eye and imagine that your third eye is closed, okay, when you're doing this. And then you can imagine it opening as if from sleep. So you can actually see your third eye opening. So your 2 eyelids are closed, and then you look up and in to the third eye. And what do you see? Do you see images there? Do you see colors? And what do you feel? Are there sensations? Is there confusion? Anything, you know, happiness or whatever? And just observe with no judgment. And then you just focus on your breath. And then when you open your eyes, you can write down your impressions, what it is that you saw. And you can repeat this daily for 3 weeks. So it's an exercise that that's going to help you over time. You can actually say affirmations there. Example, clarity now, you know, so that you can translate what you're seeing. Clarity now. You can look for things that you want to see. So you can just say, show me whatever. And then after each session, you rub your hands together till they heat up, and then you hold them over your eyes and the third eye area. And this warms to integrate that new experience. You can feel that tingling or whatever. So this can be the doorway to other experiences. So you may have clairaudience, clairvoyance. You may be able to use this to start being able to channel. Sleeping patterns can change, lucid dreams. Yeah, all kinds of different things. Sensitivity to senses, noises. Yeah, you could become more creative, experiencing life, you know, life-changing events, perception, time. Maybe you can feel time accelerating, or time not being real somehow, and or teachers can show up out of nowhere that you know that you're looking for. You can see or actually feel thought forms. Numbers could show up, maybe repeat themselves. So maybe you're getting those You look up and you see the 11 or 111. What time is it? Oh, it's 111, of course. Why do I always look up when it's 111? Electrical equipment may malfunction. I have a woman that she cannot, yeah, oh my God, her internet provider is out there maybe once a month at least. and not just that, but she has computer repair people on speed dial. It's like her stuff just malfunctions all the time. Faster nail or hair growth. And also with coherence, change in coherence, you could feel a little dizziness, maybe heart palpitations as it comes into coherence with your frequency for a while, you know, so those are just kind of temporary. But you can do these activations on your own, these exercises for activation. And yay, total upgrade. Here's some improvements from a healthy pineal. I think we kind of already talked about that. So if you're not complete with doing the pineal, make sure we get that completed. So that is the last slide for the glands of the brain. So check the number of days to check your regeneration. Does anyone need more time at this? No? Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and close these out. And we're going to go into the brain. Oh, okay. So what did you get and didn't try yet, Renee? Oh,
What was it?
cacao. Is that what you're saying? You bought some cacao, but you haven't tried it yet?
No,
Oh.
I sent you one privately.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I was curious about that.
Oh, okay. The pituitary connection with the thymus.
Yeah, when I was working on the pituitary, like in the early part, I was working on the master cell and it was like really loud coming in saying to reactivate the thymus.
Yeah, because
I'm not sure what that about.
you know, because that can be because the thymus shrinks, right? So so it went opposite. What the pituitary normally does is the growth, right? The growth hormone, human growth hormone. So it's supposed to regenerate and build, but whereas the thymus, because of faulty DNA and that programming, shrunk it. So very good, that connection there. Yes, absolutely. Activate the thymus. You want that to come back online. You want it to grow. You want it to come back. So the pituitary can definitely help, or that human growth hormone can help the thymus. Great connection. Yeah.
Can we do a quick bio break before you jump into the next?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 2:22, so. Yes.
Come back for 2:30.
Sure.
See you soon, everyone.
Yep.
Come back when?
2:30.
Yeah, 2:30 or 10 minutes. Take it 10.
Oh, okay.
don't know if you're back yet or not, but everybody, but you can pull out the Word doc for brain-regeneration-text. That goes with these slides.
When did you send that?
Last night for today, day 4 content. Okay, so so we're going to start the brain and do the clearings for the brain.
We're doing the brain today?
Well, we can do some of the clearings. We don't need to do the regeneration of the brain. I know we only have like an hour left here. And it's obviously a big topic. So yeah, the brain control systems, healing the brain. And it says here to prepare the body for a brain healing by clearing relationship and love dysfunction. And then restoring the energetic body, which we do anyway before any of the clearings. And that's, of course, the chakras and aura. We already do that anyway. But relationship love dysfunction. Interesting. Before you go into the brain healing. Now,
Excuse me, Marlene, I've looked back on the emails and I don't see any reference to brain at all. It's all hormones
oh, okay.
and abundance.
All right, let's look here. My sent folder.
Taking your business online, abundance, hormone clearings, gland clearings. That was all that was sent yesterday.
Oh,
And the hypothalamus.
So I have it. I wonder if you sent it. I know you sent several emails out.
Yeah, it was sent. Yeah, I'm not sure when it was sent, but it says day 3 recording, and I had yesterday's. Did you get the recordings from yesterday?
I think so.
Because that was the email I sent. It says day 3 recordings, and there's 3 parts. I'll just resend this again. It has everything on it.
Okay, thanks.
So yeah.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay. All right, so yeah, brain regeneration document, and then the brain regeneration PDF, that's the slides. Also has hypothalamus, pituitary text there too. Yep, okay, so I just resent it again. All right. Well, we're not, for sake of time, we don't have the time really to do the clearing of a relationship or love dysfunction. But I would recommend doing a chart on that. So yes, there's protocols for love and all that, and it's raising your frequency so that you can resonate to higher levels of love. But I'm getting here that this is, you know, self-love and self, you know, love dysfunctions, right? So maybe do a chart on that and clearing for yourself. So starting off with the first area, that we're going to look at is the brain stem. It's also called the reptilian brain, survival brain. It's the instinctual responses, like when noises or danger, you know, you're able to, you know, make choices, and high alert states. So this can actually have to do with adrenal. Well, it says it right here. Adrenal chemistry is injected into your veins and your nervous system is launched into the sympathetic or high alert state. So if you're working with somebody who is in panic, or, you know, maybe Margot, this would be an area that you want to look at, is their brain stem. And potentially if it's low, you may want to bring this up for them. As well as, you know, the nervous system, obviously, if you're going to be working with panic and fear and anxiety and so forth. But getting this right can actually have a big impact with panic. Adrenal chemistry. So yeah, your sympathetic system is now on. It's in high alert. And it will remain on for like 30 minutes, even though with no additional stimulation. And in this mode, you're ready to run away from danger. You're pumping out chemicals like cortisol, adrenaline. But you have to be in the parasympathetic mode to regenerate and to heal. So yeah, have to bring, you know, you have to do some work probably into adrenal chemistry, cortisol, adrenaline, and so forth, before getting into the brain regeneration of this particular area. And most people, they don't start with the brain healing. Most people will start somewhere else. So by the time you get here, you probably already did their adrenals. But if not, just, you'll know that this could be a part of that whole package. So maybe Margot, that would be what you're looking at for emotions and so forth. So colors. Oops, just gonna say colors for the brain stem. So if you see color, or you've tuned up your pineal gland, so now you're seeing colors just beautifully, you'll know that for the brain stem, if you're seeing it in green, you're at 100% already. It's a healthy vitality, full function. Blue is not too bad. It's right behind it. Pink right behind that. But of course, for any of these, black, gray, or white, is serious problems, all right? So if it's red, you're in real agitation, anger, really bad off situation. Yellow, your exhaustion, difficulty dealing with the elements of life. Purple, 50%. It's spiritual, and this comes at like maybe age 40-ish or so, reduced function. And yeah, I see all the brain readings at below 50 on a common basis. All of them, I really do. Orange, 60%. It's the beginning of lower function or malfunction, overactive, stimulated, losing health. Yeah, so if you see colors, or at least if you're getting a read on the percentage. So what you want to do first is, so the brain stem, get a before reading for yourself. Read that now for yourself and see what you're getting. Does anyone want to share what they're getting? And don't, if it's real low, just know that this is, it's like average.
I'm yellow.
Okay, you're in the yellow. So in the 30
Yep.
range. Okay. Yeah, this is where I see it. Absolutely.
I got a 72%.
Okay. All right. Very good. Wow. That's pretty high comparatively.
I got really high.
Did you?
Which surprised, I've just done so much work on my PTSD and stuff, but I got about 82% in green. But I think it might be because I'm over on the island and it's really relaxing.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I'm this all the time, but I'm in a very, like it can fluctuate, right?
Uh-huh. Well,
Or no?
No, the organs and the glands and the brain, they don't fluctuate. This is not energy. Your energy can go up and down.
Oh,
You know, your chakras, your life force, all the energy centers can go up and down any day or whatever, depending on what you're thinking about. But these generally don't fluctuate. Nope, I only see them pretty much go down. I don't really see them go up unless they're having, you know, a miracle or some prayer or what we're doing. So
yeah, I've been doing so much prayer with COVID. I think I've been in a perpetual state of meditation and prayer.
oh, okay, all right. So
Yeah.
that's really paying off for you then. Yeah. Reptilian brain healing protocols. Okay, so read the color and percentage. And now you're going to send the gold in there, right? So just go ahead and just start doing that. That's the first part. And DNA activation. So look for any causes of the malfunction or, you know, compromised percentage. If it's congenital, then you match the blueprint for a new path.
Is this the whole brain or just the brain stem?
Just the brain stem we're working on, just this one area.
Okay.
We're gonna do them in separate 5 different.
Five? Okay.
Yes, 5 different areas of the brain. This is the first one. All right, so now just continue to keep sending, and just imagine that you're sending this beautiful gold healing energy now into the brain stem, into this reptilian mammalian survival brain. It's the oldest ancient brain that we started with. And it's, you know, the fight or flight, always looking out for danger kind of thing. And just, you're just going to be wanting to, you know, it's like you can actually feel it calming down. You're calming. Bringing it back into parasympathetic or the sympathetic nervous, not out of the fight or flight. Okay, and then you're going to ask, you know, is regeneration required? I'd say anything under, you know, a compromised reading is, yeah, I would say yes, unless your body says no, not at this time, right? So then you won't.
Can you speak to the look for causes of the malfunction? Is that things like timeline or amplification? Or is that an actual like a
Yeah.
physical thing? Or would you
Yes.
test on all those?
Well, what I think that means here is, like, did somebody have an accident? Was there trauma? Are we finding that there was radiation, chemicals?
So anesthesia?
Anesthesia could
Mhm.
certainly be, yeah.
Like, I had like 4 surgeries as a child, big surgeries. And I also had, it was something besides the anesthesia and the medicine, was something they did where it was a radioactive dye they would shoot into your blood to see a good image. This
Yeah.
was like in the early 70s, late 60s, IVP, I think it was called. But those things I know can really affect that too.
Oh, okay,
So-
interesting. Yeah, so if somebody
Mhm.
knows, if a client knows of an issue, they're going to tell you,
Right.
hey, I had a concussion, right? Whatever, right? So
Medication?
medications, yeah. But it's not that you need to know if something,
Okay.
what it was in particular. You don't really need to know that. You're just going to say, hey, I got a reading of 40%. So something's
It's a gap, yeah.
you know, I mean, if that's all you're getting, that's what, great. You can start with that. You can do it all with that. You don't need to know exactly everything. And then so you would continue on with the regeneration. And so in the first brain. Okay, so the first brain, there's not much there's not much extra stuff. So we can do all of the clearings first and then come back and do the regeneration after we get through all the 5 areas. And yeah, that's, so why don't we do that first? So you can continue to pump the gold in there. That's great. But let's go into all 5 of the areas and then do the clearing, as Brain 1 is not asking us to do anything else except for just to go into regeneration after you're doing 100% here. But there's brain illnesses, colors, if you're seeing, you know, black or gray, dementia, attention deficit, biotoxin contamination, that kind of stuff. Schizophrenia is here if you see, or a chemotherapy patient could be.
What do you mean brain 1?
This is the brain stem.
Oh, we're still in the brain stem?
Yeah, haven't moved into the next area yet. But so now this is the second one, the emotional brain.
Oh, okay.
Or the mammalian brain, it's called. It's the amygdala area. It's still kind of up here in the back, kind of above the brain stem. The emotional program. So this would be a good one for Margot, and probably, you know, whoever you're working with, but certainly for emotions, this is going to be the area that you're going to look at. What's their amygdala reading, yeah? Or you can call it the whole emotional brain, because it's a little bit more than just the amygdala too.
I think a really interesting issue too is the whole issue of attachment in birth, like when children don't attach with their parent correctly. And this shows, I find it shows up here, like attachment issues with a parent, like they didn't get that mirroring, and so they don't feel like they have healthy attachment. For instance, someone who was adopted probably be a big amygdala issue.
Oh, okay. I like that observation. Okay, very good. Healthy attachment at birth, yeah.
And
oh, you're muted now, Margot. You hit your mute button. You're still muted.
or
Right.
informative years, you know, like early childhood too.
Okay.
If the mother, for instance, had mood disorders or high stress and she couldn't reflect or mirror back to the child, I think it would be, especially if the mother's side, huge.
So if there was the bonding,
Yeah.
okay.
Unhealthy attachment through like developmental years up to about age 6
Oh, okay.
can have huge impact on the emotional brain.
Okay, so like what if the parent was adopted, so maybe they didn't get that information and now they're not able to give it to their offspring.
And then it would go down like a bloodline. Yeah, and probably timelines and DNA.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, very good. Okay, so then the emotional brain, men and women get the estrogen, you know, the emotional brain. Okay, so, you know, they've got the socialization going, stuff like that. Men have the testosterone. So they're getting logic, focus, that kind of stuff. But the estrogen gives the woman to process feelings, emotions for a lot longer. And estrogen brain provides women with awareness, easily multitasking. We can find lost items, that kind of stuff. And women's brains are wired to gather and nurture, whereas guys are out there, you know, killing stuff or whatever. So there's where that goes on, I guess. So maybe if there's some
Seeing things in the fridge.
huh?
Seeing things in the refrigerator.
Oh yeah. It's there. I just saw it. No, it's not. Yeah, it's right there behind that. Yeah, I know. I'm the one that usually finds things around here too. Although my husband has a guide, his dog. I think I told you that guides him to show him where the stuff is. You just set your hammer down here. You don't remember that 2 minutes ago. Unhealthy emotional brain consequences. So if it's out of proper operation, it can cause issues in your relationships and love life. Here's where this happens. It can prevent people from experiencing love as warnings of unsafe feelings related to early emotional traumas programmed into the amygdala. So of course, if you didn't get that love from the parent, you know, having relationship issues or whatever later on is probably an indication there. And here's colors for the, I'm going to call it emotional brain. So if you're going to see a color, what would yours be? And then actually get a number. You can get the number first, you know, it's what yours is. So note here that for men, it's green at 100%, but for females, it's pink at 100%. Whereas for males, pink is lower. Than 100. And then write that down. And then this is the second brain here is for the sixth chakra is corresponding to this area. Interestingly. Okay, so here's the protocol here for the emotional brain. You've got the read the color and percent. Now you're going to be amping in the gold energy. And then you want to do a spiritual timeline clearing. So you're going to look for harmful events that are responsible for fear responses. So go ahead and your timeline now, anything that has to do with fear responses. Any faulty any time, past lives that you had a fear response that was traumatic, you know, that left an impact. And if so, which lifetimes would they be? And then read the future, if you're gonna, number of lifetimes in the future. And you're looking at the future, the next 6 to 9 lifetimes. And then of course, go ahead and clear those.
So if you're not doing cellular regeneration, that you go into the DNA piece, yeah?
Yeah, so right now we're not going to do the quantum cellular regeneration because we do have several clearings for each of these areas to do, and I want to make sure you all know how to do them. So I think
Okay.
what we can do is we go through all 5 of these areas, do the clear rings that are required, timeline, DNA, whatever. And then between now and when we come back, we're going to meet again the next time. So send the gold energy into, the brainstem, then to 100%, then to the emotional brain to 100%. So you have all that complete. So all 5 areas you'll have tested up to 100% and all the clearings done. And then we'll just dive right into doing the regeneration.
I see. Thank you.
But yeah, so just so everyone gets it, what this is.
It was just, it said to check for the quantum cellular regeneration was required, but mine wasn't. So I was wondering about the DNA. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank
So maybe not yet. You know what I mean? Not ready yet. Yep. And so if you're done with the timeline clearing, clear the emotional memory response programs in the amygdala. So that would be like any DNA programs. So check to see and test for, do you have any early emotional memory or response programs in DNA in the amygdala? So you get a yes, then how many?
In this lifetime.
Yeah. And then clear them.
Marlene? As I'm clearing out the timeline in the past, there's just a lot of smoke back there. It's weird, and so it's not like fully clearing.
Okay, well, you're going to need to continue to send gold through there until it clears. And this is the thing, is that we want this to be a real complete healing. This is very important. We can't just be, halfway on this. So yeah, great observation. And if that's true, there's something there.
Can she ask what it is?
Oh, sure.
I didn't get an answer. I asked if there's a message there, why it's not clearing, and then I didn't get an answer there either. So
You might have to work on it for a while. Here it says, and maybe this could be helpful for what you're looking at too, Renee. It says here, using a magnetic rose. You can imagine a red magnetic rose, and use the power of that magnetic rose to draw out all the energy and emotion related to this specific challenging memory. So that could help in your case.
thank you.
And then check to see if the number of memory or response programs is down to 0. Okay, and so once you bring the DNA programs to 0, then go into the DNA activation, and you're looking for programs here, include emotional malfunction. So do you have a DNA program for emotional malfunction? If it's a yes, how many? And jot that down. And then also look for a DNA program for depression. If yes, how many? And then mental illnesses. Yes, how many? Neuroses. Self-esteem issues. And self-affinity.
Can you explain what that means? I don't understand that terms.
Let's look it up again. Where do we go? Here we go. Okay. Uncountable. Distorted self. It's more like a mathematical term, but self-similarity. Ask your body. Ask your body. Does anybody get a yes to that one?
Yeah, I got a yes, but I don't know what it means.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either.
That's why I'm curious.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it.
I don't either, and it's not really giving me a good explanation here. It's a noun, uncountable, the condition of a fractal whose pieces are scaled in different amounts in the x and y directions. So that self-similarity becomes apparent only after an anisotropic transformation.
Yeah, I know it's a mathematical, yeah. Anyone else want to dig into this? Lainey, come on, Lainey. I know you have an idea.
I do have so so I don't know that term, but I mean, if you think of an affinity for something, it's like you're drawn to something, or
right, you're attracted to it.
Yeah.
So is it narcissism?
That's
but
what
I
I
kind of
wondered
thought
with
it was
narcissism.
positive, though. It's like you love yourself, you're drawn to yourself, but it could be. I guess the negative would be narcissism.
Oh.
If there's like a spectrum, so narcissist would be on one side, and the
Right.
other would be I don't even love myself. I don't care about myself. I don't even want to be with myself.
Yeah, a liking or sympathy for someone.
Yeah, I mean, so it's on the narcissistic spectrum,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, issues around that. So.
And then it says social proficiency, but wouldn't that be a good thing?
Oh, well, now as the science and engineering person,
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Go for it, Lainey.
I
These
would,
are all in the, I was gonna say, these are all in the context of a faulty, like a negative programming, no?
yeah.
Yeah, all the
Right,
rest
I
of
know.
them are, right? Yeah.
But I mean, for
So-
me, that would be like the EQ. Like, can you relate to other people? Do you
Uh-huh.
have people skills, or are you this hermit that wants to be, you know, just let me be in my office typing away on my computer, and I don't want to see people. That's
Mhm. So it would be a negative self-affinity and a negative social proficiency. I think
And
maybe Marlene, you may want to throw that word in there somehow.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
also
I didn't get social
narciss-
proficiency. I just got the self-affinity thing.
narcissists often don't have empathy, like the ability to read facial cues or emotional cues.
Right.
The lack of like.
But I don't know if
empathy.
it's going that far in this DNA program. I don't know. I mean, it could be. It's up there, right?
I get that it's about that, like the narcissism, the focus on self-absorption because of some of the emotional difficulty. Like you've had to work so much to survive that the wounding from the emotional stuff, so that you're missing out on some of the external cues. So
I am an Aries also. Just we're all
That
kind
explains.
of,
Mary,
okay.
go on.
Clearly, the end of the day for Dia. Okay, I'll be quiet now. Okay.
I'm a fire sign too. Let's see. So, okay, so we have those. So let's go ahead, and if you have them, clear them.
What, just pump them out?
Yeah, well, you can see these as dark dots, and then you're going to
Right.
yeah, yeah, amp gold energy through the dark dots to.
So you mean I can get rid of my husband's narcissism?
Sure.
Well, things are looking up, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. Do a brain regeneration on them.
Fix them right up.
Yeah. Yep. And so then when we're complete with that, we're going to go into the next area. Here's if there's any illnesses. You can see black, again, chemotherapy patient, something agitation, psychopath, schizophrenia, death of a spouse. You could have gray or black show, yeah, miscarriage, stillbirth, something like that. Gray, attention deficit disorder, biotoxin contamination, Agent Orange or nuclear radiation, pain, the state of recent abortion can show as black there. Autism. So red is mania, orange is Down syndrome. If you're seeing colors here. Okay, the next one is the creative brain. Now this is the right brain, the neocortex.
Just before you go ahead,
Yep.
in terms of that list we just went through, what about the tendency to be empathic, to be taking on people's energies? So the kind of the opposite of the narcissism.
Yeah, because that could go in there for sure.
That should really be included.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that could be a bit much for some people, couldn't it? That just
Huge.
too
You mean
empathic.
like over empathy
Yes.
becomes a boundarylessness.
And you're like a sponge and you draw people's energy in. So
Yeah.
you get cluttered all the time.
I like it. Yeah, go ahead and add that in there. Yep, if that's you, clear that. Okay. So creativity comes from this area, and it comes from 5 areas actually. So it's our energetic system, energy centers, the 2nd and 5th chakra. You can work on those, and then the emotional body, the senses, and then this creative brain. So colors here for that. Let's go ahead and get a read on your creative brain. And you can see it through your third eye. Oh, great. I like to not look at the chart first before I see the colors. And you can be sending the gold into this right neocortex as well. And so you're reading the colors, you're amping the gold in there, checking if regeneration is required. We won't need to check that yet. DNA activation. So here you're going to check for DNA for vibrant health in this creative brain. So the DNA programs to look for would include creative malfunction, conception, ability over calculating, creativity driven by struggle, or contamination. Or like, I would say lack of contamination, lack of creativity due to contamination, maybe.
What does contamination mean, though? What's contaminated?
Well, like biotoxin contaminations, Agent Orange, chemotherapy. Yeah.
Be stressing.
Yeah, brown here says contamination when you're down to 7%. I guess that's what it means. And then see them as black spots. Blast them off. And then shoot the gold. And then just continue to send gold through. And if you're done with that, then do a timeline clearing, removing the impact of events, preventing the free flow of expression. So are there different timelines that prevent the free flow of expression?
What are the energetic systems? What's that mean?
Oh, that's the chakras, the aura, life force, all the energies. Yeah, the energy clearings that we do. Okay, so if you're complete with the timeline, let's move into, these are the illnesses and the colors you may see there. So chemotherapy, ADD. Recent abortion, this will be like 6 months maybe that the colors will change for that. Or if you have dementia, you might see gray there. Obsessive compulsive, autism, Down syndrome, Asperger's. Logical, this is the left neocortex, the logical brain, the analytical functions, common sense, focus, clarity. So let's get a read on the left logical. And that's how you can remember it, left logical. Oops, here, get a color. See if you can get a color on that. Okay, so you got a color. Green would be 100%. I got the exact color that matches the percent, so that's cool. All right, and then here's the healing protocols for the illogical brain. So get the, start amping the gold energy in there. Check to see if the spirit is well connected with this brain. Both congenital issues and brain trauma can be at a fault for any disconnect here. The spirit connection must be 100% or high, or as high as you can possibly get it. The two effects of this healing, one is to establish the spiritual connection, and the other dramatically improves the physical chemistry of the brain. So this is what we're going after here, is to make sure that the spirit is connected in here. So focusing gold energy on the area not occupied by spirit, and guide the spirit into this part of the brain. So you're going to just have to see this happening. So you can maybe get a read on how much of, how big is this area? What percentage of the area here in this left brain is not occupied by spirit? So get a percentage there. Or how much is occupied by spirit, either way. So if there's just a couple percent or whatever it happens to be, show your spirit, move it into, occupy that other small percentage or whatever it is. And you can just amp the gold in there too, into that, 2%, 5%, whatever, that little area. You can see it, just send gold into it. because that is the spirit, you know, assisting here. And then check if you're at 100% now. And if it won't go all the way, I would say to do the timeline issue to see if there's something going on there. So let's move on. So continue to do that, but you may need to do something else first if it won't go the rest of the way. So focus gold energy now towards the overall brain with the intention of improving brain chemistry. So this is the other part. So you could check to see what's my brain chemistry right now, what percentage. And write that down. And if you're complete with that, you can go into the DNA activation. And programs to look for here are these: violence, victim, mania, lack of composure, disassociative issues, lack of permission to use logic. That could be often found in females. We're taught that men need to have that science and math stuff. And servitude. So quite a few there. And then go back to see if you've got your spirit all the way in the body or into the, into this brain. Sure it's 100% in. And then brain chemistry, make sure you've amped up to 100% there. And if you're clear with that, then do a timeline clearing. And this is going to look for impact of events that prevents the use of logic or strategy or clarity and focus. So look for past lives with that.
So why is it only the logical brain that you need to bring the spirit into?
It just is the one that, first, I don't know exactly the reasoning for that, but it is just the one that we find that the spirit doesn't stay all the way in for some reason. No, I mean, you can muscle test that and see, is the spirit all the way into brain, you know, brainstem? Is it in the emotional brain? Creative brain? Logical? And then the frontal lobe will be the next one, so you can check that too. And maybe it's more if it's, you know, for women, as it was saying here, if we're not the ones using the logic is, you know, like, okay, we're out of here. I'm just blazing this over. I know for a fact for myself, I was not that good in math or science. I hated both of them. I really did. I spent some time in the hallway. And I don't know why. It's not like I acted out. I'm not sure why, but maybe, yeah, I glazed it. So it was probably just like my brain just like, shoo.
I'm with Jan. I actually had that same question because as a more of a left brain person,
Yeah.
and I was not fully in the right brain.
You weren't fully in the right brain. Huh?
Neither.
Neither. Oh, okay. That is a great question because, yeah, check for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then if you're complete there, here are some illnesses that can, if you're seeing some of these colors, again, chemo patients, violence, state of recent abortion again, Down syndrome, radiation, recent death of a spouse, you could be gray in this area, or miscarriage and stillbirth, grief seen in parents of stillborn babies, yeah, anguish, any of that. Okay, so then the genius brain, we can start by amping in the gold into this is the frontal lobe. This is the newest brain. Obviously the brainstem is the first brain, the ancient one. This is the newest one. It's its function is to provide the platform for magic and so forth, for genius, innovation, imagination, and invention. It provides a gateway for admittance to the entirety of earthly existence. And it can be where, like, where you're getting information coming to you. Like Einstein, for example, you know, he got information. Others as well, Tesla and so forth. This is where it just streams in through. It's the I am. Excuse me. And, okay, so let's get a color and a percentage reading. And once we have that, here's the colors. Pink would be the 100%. Brilliance, calculation. So this is the protocol here. We are amping the gold energy, and then do the DNA activation. Look for causes of malfunction. Doesn't really say what to look for here, so let's just say, you know, faulty DNA around.
Marlene, I don't understand the number 2. It says with a reduced function.
Yeah, like if you didn't get
with an area that is reduced. I'm sorry, I thought it was to reduce it. So
no, we don't want to necessarily do that unless you're at 102. 110. So anything DNA, any faulty DNA in regards to not being able to have the full use of your genius brain. And you could look at a timeline clearing here too. I know we did not have it in the in here. It'd be interesting to see if something does come up on timeline for anyone. It does not for me, but maybe that's because I've done it before. But these are illnesses.
What was the color for Asperger's?
Oh, blue.
Interesting.
What did you get? Blue.
Oh, my brain was definitely royal blue,
Oh,
but I do think I have a little bit of Asperger's.
that's what was the good. Well, the good blue is 73% over here, though. Inspiration. That's odd, isn't it?
It is, but
well, not really, because a lot of people with Asperger's are brilliant.
Mm.
It's just a different language in their mind that they're speaking. That's how I talk to my families.
Mm.
It's just they're speaking such a different language. I've rarely found someone who has Asperger's who actually doesn't have an amazing brilliance in their niche.
Oh,
So you go, Lainey.
yay. Take that Asperger's and run with it. Yeah. Okay, continue, complete here. So those are all the 5 different areas of the brain. And so then the next thing you'd want to do is see if you're complete with 100% of sending bringing function to 100% for each of the areas, getting that all up there. And I'm getting that, no, we're not. And it's very important to be 100% before moving on, because you don't want to regenerate something that's not totally 100%, especially in this area. This is very important. So that's going to be the assignment, is to have everybody just amping up the gold in each of these 5 areas and reading that as 100% before we go into the regeneration. So let's pick a date that works for everybody. We're probably not going to need that amount of time. So so if everybody could come prepared to this whatever date we set, and having the prep work done. So that just have all of your chakras, aura, have your life force up to 100%, release any attachments, and then check brainstem 100%. I've got you know, emotional brain, left brain, right brain, genius brain. Make sure we're all up to 100% when we come on to the next one, and then we'll just run through the regeneration together. So we maybe only need an hour, something like that, if we're all prepped and ready. So that could.
So do we do once we get all that, do we need to do like the DNA strand before we come back together, or are we going to do that together?
That we'll do that together.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, just like the regular regeneration. I mean, if you want to do that beforehand, you can certainly do that. I mean, we already did the timeline, so if you wanted to, you know, do the DNA, then it won't take quite as long. But it just takes longer just to kind of do the regeneration. So, so it might be okay to do that first. So I don't know what fits everybody's schedule. Fridays are usually good for me, because I don't schedule a whole lot of people there, but on Fridays or Mondays, and then some Saturdays.
What time are you thinking on a Friday? What time of the day, your time?
Let's see. I mean, like I have this Friday. It wouldn't be until like 10 my time though.
I can do that.
That'd be 1 p.m. for you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that work for you, Jan? This Friday at 1, that'd be April.
I can't do this Friday.
No, not at all. Okay. How about Saturday?
I'm free Saturday after 12:30 my time.
How about you,
East
Jan?
Coast.
April 11th work for you?
That works for me.
Yeah.
What time?
Renee, does Saturday work for you this week?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And Margot, was that Margot? She said, oh, she says meeting over. Oh gosh. Okay. Meeting ID, shoot. She's trying to get back on.
Oh dear.
She got bumped off. Let me give her.
Yeah, I got bumped off about 45 minutes ago, but I got back on somehow.
Oh, okay. She, you know, maybe the Zoom call was only set for a certain time, and after that time, it just goes out. I don't know. I gotta give her the. Oh goodness. Okay, afternoon. Here it is. 823. 823. 944. 451. Okay. So Saturday, Jan, is that open, did you say?
Yes.
Okay. And Dia, did you say after a certain time?
If we could do after 12:30 my time, Eastern
Okay.
time, I could move my call if I'm the only one that needs that changed. It's just that they're in England, so it's a little hard, but I can sort it out.
Okay, so 9:30 Pacific, 10:30 Mountain, 11:30 for Renee, and 12:30 for Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll check with Margot. Saturday at 9:30.
Marlene,
Yeah.
I'm curious on these because on all of them, I got a lower percentage and saw a higher color, except for the last one, where I got 72% and I saw blue and they actually matched, but the other ones didn't. So
I
I'm
know.
not sure
They
why
don't
that
always match. No, I know it. They don't. But I would just go with the percentage that you have.
is. I will, thank you.
Yeah.
Renee, I had that happen on 2 of mine.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, I wish Margot could get bolts back on. Turn. We could.
Send an email and then confirm it with her.
Yeah, I just texted her to see that was okay with her for time. Yeah, it didn't say that it was going to be over at, like 4 hours or something. Edit this meeting. Let's just see only this meeting. Okay. Oh, 3 hours it was only set for. Oh my goodness. I wonder if I can edit it and I don't know, maybe that'll help. It's only set for 3 hours, so maybe, okay, try again, I'll say. Okay, so we'll see what comes up. So this Saturday, April 11th, 12:30 Eastern, and then we'll continue on. So then just do your prep work. And so that's what we had for the rest of the day too. I've already raised the frequency. We do have certification, and I've got certificates. Although, let's see what she's saying here. Tried with ID number and still won't let me in. I think my brain is saying no because I'm overwhelmed. April 11th, 9:30 works, yes. So that's great then for everyone. Okay.
Just do the certification on Saturday then.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, so she's not missing anything. Yeah. She says maybe it's her own brain saying, no, she's in overwhelm. Don't go back on. There she is. Hi, Margot. You know what? The Zoom meeting said was set for like 3 hours. So I changed it to say 5 hours and hit save. And then maybe that's why you're able to come back in. So sorry about that.
What's that? I'm sorry, I just got here.
Oh, okay. The Zoom meeting, I noticed, I went in and I checked and it said it was set for 3 hours for the afternoon.
Oh, okay. Because so when I went out, then it wouldn't let me come back in.
3:30, yeah, it would have said that it was over, even though we can still be on. Yeah. So I
Okay.
changed the time, hit save, and apparently that's when you could get back in. So yeah, we were just saying that to come prepared then Saturday, doing the prep work like you would before any other regeneration. So all of the energy centers, life force to 100%. And then amping up brain, brainstem, emotional brain, left and right cortex, genius, up to 100%.
How far did you all go through all the 5 brain parts?
Yeah, so where did you leave off?
Creative brain, I just started. So I'll just go, the slides are probably pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, they are. Creative brain, so then healing for the creative brain. And then the 4th brain, get your color and percentage of function. And then, so the only thing different with the 4th brain here is that you're going to look for getting your spirit into this brain. Check to see how much of your spirit is in. If it's like 90% of the way in, then see, bring gold in and see your spirit occupying that other 10%. Get it all the way in.
Okay.
And then you're also, the only thing different with this, and this is the only one that said to do this, is to improve the chemistry of the brain. So that's on the next slide, I guess. So focus the gold energy towards, the overall logical brain with the intention of improving brain chemistry. So that's the only one that has that in it. And then you can do a timeline clearing. And anything in DNA that you find. But here's the programs that could come up to look for.
Oh, cool. Okay, there they are. It's also, yeah. Violence, victim. Okay, good. Dissociative. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, what part is the 4th? What part of the brain is that? Like, is there a anatomical structure that's associated with
the left neocortex?
The left?
Yeah, because you were doing the creative brain, which is the right brain.
Yeah.
Left logical.
Okay.
Left neocortex. Yeah. And then when you get to the genius brain, that's the frontal lobe. Here's the percents and colors for that. And then the protocol for that. So essentially the 5th one, the last one, is just the DNA, checking for DNA. That's all you gotta do on this one. So just come with the prep ready. So your life force 100% and all that. Then all 5 areas are up to 100%. And then we'll just start in with the regeneration.
And what's the youngest age you would do this for, the regeneration?
Oh, well, you would ask the brain, is it okay? And if it says yes, then yeah. Because yeah, they could be born with something, right? Like the Down syndrome or the whatever, right? So you could help little babies, yeah. But there could be things on their timeline. Yeah. And and that's where you need to ask: is it okay to do regeneration for this child? Because maybe it's something that they came in to experience Down syndrome. Who knows? I mean, it's possible. But that's why if you get no, then just all right. You don't want any bad karma or something. I guess that could happen. So yeah, so that's where we left off, Margot. So you didn't really miss any other instruction or whatever. So we just yeah, we just completed the assignment there. So if anyone has any particular questions that come up between now and then, just email me. Or if they feel that they've missed something, or
Which email is best to use?
you can use the @yourbodypower.com. I get the Gmail one too, but that one's like so full. I have to keep deleting stuff out of it. So yeah, so and then Saturday if we'll complete this, and then maybe we want to talk a little bit about business training too, because there's opportunities for us to do some collaboration and to partner with each other and doing things, and we can talk about what that might look like. I can also set aside time. I want to have a session with everybody, with each of you, and we can talk about your expertise or what it is that you want to specialize in, maybe come up with some brainstorming, some ideas around that, who your perfect clients are, how you could reach them, what would be a good strategy or plan for you on that. I do have another handout I can send. Did I send you identify your perfect customer? I think I might have sent that one to the level 1 people already. And then I'll
I
just
sent it out to our level 1 class.
I think I did. If not, I'll send it to everyone anyway. But it's a way to just things to look at, to imagine your ideal clients and what their qualities, characteristics, whatever that happens to be. And then what's perfect for you. So what is it that you want? Well, maybe, you know, how do you want your business to look? So starting at that point and looking, starting at the ending and going backwards, working backwards. So if you know you only want to do remote work, well then don't set it up to do, you know, your plan's got to be in sync with that. So yeah, I'll send this out to you, and so you can set up your little plan for describing your customer and then being able to attract that person. So then you can do you can chart a reading around attracting that person. So whatever could be blocking you from attracting them and clearing all of that. So that would be, that's very helpful, actually. Very helpful. So let's do that. And then we're going to do the certificates then too, certification on Saturday. And oh, she wants she wants Lainey's time. It's time for me. Yay. Okay, so any last questions before we wrap up then?
No, just a huge thank you for you, Marlene, your expertise, your huge heart, your commitment. You just is so inspiring. So I watch you and I just know that I can do it because you've done it. So I really appreciate that and
You can.
what you bring.
I had some doubts at first too, like, this is it? That's all I got to do? Yes, it is. Okay. I can do that then. And it works. So it's like, that's true. And I am affecting change in hundreds of people. So you can do exactly the same. Yep. So you got the tools now, and you can actually even improve on the tools as things that come up as you're working.
So rich. It's so detailed and gives us so many options. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Glad you were here.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Yes, nice to see you, Jan. You're looking better. I hope that put that cabbage in there and see how
Yeah,
that does for you. That's a great suggestion. Yeah. And Renee, nice to see you, and thank you for all your participation and support. You've been a great addition to the team, and same with Dia.
Well, thanks for letting me horn in on your group here. I really appreciate it.
Oh, certainly. No, this is for all of us. I think we make a good team, and I know that there's some collaboration between us here. So we can even be thinking about areas where that can happen too. So.
Cool.
And then I'm going to set up a time with each of you to meet with you individually, one-on-one. And Lainey, yeah, as always, you're absolutely incredible with all your insights and your vision for the being able to see things and improving the why is this? why is it like that? You know, and seeing things for us. So thank you so much.
Well, yeah, thank you. I absolutely enjoyed this. These are cool new tools that are just awesome.
Yeah.
And there's so much we can do now.
Yeah, absolutely. And make sure you practice this stuff, okay? So this is the only way you're going to bring it into your physicality is to actually be using it. There's,
Right.
I will say that the disappointing part with a lot of different programs is that people don't use it.
Mm.
You know,
Right.
they set aside and they don't use the tools and whatever. But then nothing happens, right? Nothing's going to happen because a group that I was in that I did get a certification through, I can only think of maybe 5% of us that are
Wow.
doing this, you know? So it's like a waste. We need to be helping more people. And so this is, but I know we're more set up for business, and Dia and I know Jan has her own business and already and so forth, and probably Renee, I'm not certain.
Yeah, Renee does. Yeah.
Okay. And Margot,
Think
you've
so.
got clients, and Lainey, you're about to be, so.
Lainey's going to be our supervisor. She's going to
Yeah.
supervise us all. How about that? I'll be
She's-
calling you saying, what do I do? What am I missing?
She's really good at keeping us in order.
I know when it came to the left brain, right brain, yeah, one is a little higher than the other. And it's not, I'll give you a clue, it's not the left. Yeah. So, all right, wonderful.
All right.
Well, nice being with you the last 4 days. It
Yeah.
just right
Right.
by for me, and still ready.
Flew by.
Yeah, so thank you so much, everybody, for being here and participating. And I have some high visions for all of us going forward from today, okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you. Bye,
All right.
everyone.
Talk Saturday.
Okay, see y'all Saturday.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.